Hi all, and welcome to Forewarned, Forearmed. Today's episode we're going to concentrate on doing another list, going off the feedback from everyone out there, focusing on a US mech infantry formation, mostly with the M113s. I was asked by a few people if they'd actually want me to do this due to the fact that it seems quite popular, especially considering the new NATO book and how US have actually got a bit of a boost for their infantry in the form of Dragon 2. So, without further ado, I'll get straight to the list. So, the list comprises of two formations, one being a Mech 113 formation, and the other one being a light attack company. This is backed up by a unit of Vards and two Stinger Humvees as well, and a Fist for the mortars that are part of the Mech company. Now with the Mech company I have gone with 3 platoons, each with the extra Dragon or updated to Dragon 2, so a total of 12 Dragons. Then I've also chucked in some Abrams, mostly with the M1A1s, just for the pure fact that I want M1A1s so I can use them in reserve. The reason why this list is designed as it is, it's so I can take all 3 stances. That is so prevalent when I create my lists, is that if I want to, especially in a competitive environment, I can choose whatever stance I want to. This is very prevalent over in the States at the moment with their competitive scene, where you're limited to using stances maybe once or twice, depending on the TO. So this can be quite challenging if you're trying to build a list over there, just for those pure facts. I would like to have probably a little bit more of a scout or a recce section, just for the pure fact I do like to have 2 recce units, but at the same time the points don't really allow it as much, so that gives you roughly about 6 in the main mech formation, so it's quite a large formation, and has decent capability there, especially with the AT. The reason why I've gone with the Abrams is because it's also a reserve drop if I need to. Most people really love IPMs, mostly because they're a very cheap unit. You can get 4 of them very easily and effectively. I just prefer to have the M1A1s for the pure fact that it's AT-23. It's still the same tank as an IPM. The only difference is I've got that better gun. Still the same rate of fire, but I prefer the 120mm over the 105. Now, the light attack company might confuse a few people, but in reality, it's actually a really good company. Not many people realize that the US book actually does have 3 formations of decent, units to use, and this is one of them. On paper, it's like, yeah, it's a very small formation, but at the same time, the skill is all 3+. So I think people fail to see that US actually does have some 3+ skill infantry. I haven't taken them in this list, but if I was going to build a list, I'd be looking at the Light Combined Arms Company, which does have those 3+ skill infantry in them. And the same, like everyone loves to call the G.I. Joe tank or the RDF out there, it's another great little unit, that can be used in these lists if you want to go down that route. I didn't, just because of the pure fact that I wanted to save points. But yeah, so if I look at my light attack company, I do have those TOW2s in there with the Humvees. They are the cheapest AT-23 available units out there, and the fact that they do come with that 3+ skill is great. So it means I can blitz, shoot and scoot, move back into cover, move out if I need to, and shoot where needed. So that's the reason why I've chucked in the light attack company, just so I can have some really good units with great skill. Again, just for suppressing fire, like the fact that I've upgraded all my light attack platoons with miniguns where I can, that's awesome, because they're pumping out like 10 shots each turn if they're still around, which is great, especially into Soviet horde lists like BTR lists. That's great because it means more shots, like including with the Mark 19s in there, like plenty of shots to pin units very quickly and effectively, and that's what they're there for, is to get more shots down the table, more shots down range, and effectively just place the herd onto BTR hordes and BMP spam hordes as well. Now, the reason why I like the mech formation since the NATO book has dropped is because you can upgrade the dragons. It kind of makes them a cheaper British Milan spam unit. Like 9 points gives you 4 dragons in a single, large platoon, which is phenomenal. Brits can't do this. Like, Brits do have the skill and that counter assault ability, but the fact that you can have, 4 equivalent Milans, up to AT-21, 28 inches range, it's like, you can't go wrong with that, for 29 points, roughly. Not 28 points, if just for that base. 3 units and a HQ, you can't go wrong. And I think that's where, they're quite competitive. And I know that there's a certain player out in Singapore who will be wanting to try this, because he runs these quite often with his mech formation. And I think he'll be happy to have the upgrade, especially going up against a whole bunch of T-72s that he's usually versing. So I think that'll be a welcome change to US players, is having that Dragon 2. I don't see him getting used in Bradley formations as much, just because of the pure fact that you do have the Bradleys who do have that AT-23 with the TOW 2. So I don't see them getting their use as much there. Like, it would be great to have them added in, but at the same time, for a max Bradley, platoon, you're looking at about 17 points to upgrade, especially considering you got 3. So at least with the mech formation, if you do get that added dragon, you pay 2 points for the 4 dragons, 3 points to upgrade them. So from 6 to 9, which is a no-brainer in my opinion. So that's my take on the US competitive list formations. I think this list will do quite well in the competitive scene, especially at 100 points. I think if you were to bump it up to, say, 115, I would probably look at maybe taking a infantry platoon as part of that light attack company, just to give it a bit more punch, and especially considering it's got those skill 3+ infantry as well, which would be great to have, to hold out, dig in, and basically try to push units off objectives as well if you really want to. And considering that they do have 8 Hummers that come with them, that's a lot of machine guns. 24 shots from 8 Hummers, that's a lot. So that's my thoughts on a US competitive list. So if you did enjoy this episode and you do want to see more content, please like and subscribe and share to your friends. This channel is for you at the end of the day, and I hope to see you all out there one day, hopefully on the table. If not, well, maybe later. Anyway, good hunting. Till next time.